voice has never sounded so beautiful.
Right? I think I like your mic too, by the way.
I like your mic,
Ooh.
baby.
I like what is that in your pants? Is that your mic, or are you happy to see me?
It's not quite how you say it, but close enough. So in this episode of Translating Love,
we are recording Translating Love. Yeah, that's
we
cool.
are going to be singing Billie Eilish songs.
Yeah, we are not, because we don't want to get sued. But welcome back to another episode of Translating Love.
I have to say, one thing I don't like is that I can hear you twice. I don't mean that in a bad way. Just like, I don't like that I can hear your voice in my headphones, but also next to me.
But the thing is, you can put the headphones down if you are on the level what you're talking at, and you're not like louder than you should be. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean.
We set the levels of the audio. Okay. Let's not go into that. So welcome back to a new episode of Translating Love, everybody.
Indeed.
How have you been?
I mean,
okay.
They can't answer.
Oh, I've always forget that.
This isn't a phone call or something.
I always forget that. But we're back. And we have a new audio setup. It's still like in the testing phase. So this will be the first like podcast with it. But the audio quality is pretty good, I think.
It sounds like it.
Right? It sounds pretty crisp. It sounds better than before.
I wonder if it just picked up my throat noise. My throat just made a weird noise.
Usually they're very sensitive, but if, it's more for our voices right now. So I don't think so. Maybe if we crank it up in the edit.
Crank
it.
Crank the crank.
Right. Today, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about saying no to things and why it's important to be able to say no.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. That's actually a good point, because I have a hard time saying no to things, and I also read. Yeah, and I also.
But I do too.
Yeah. Not really.
I do. It depends on the situation.
The thing is, you say you say yes first, but then like 2 or 3 days later you say no. That's what you do. You say,
but that's my problem.
Yeah, sure.
I'm such a people pleaser. I'm such a people pleaser that I can't, to somebody's face, say, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I say yes or say maybe with full intention of saying no.
Yeah, I understand that. But I read that people who have anxiety, like anxiety disorder, are also prone to say yes to more things than they want to, because of people pleasing, because they are because they think that if they say no, they either miss something, or that they don't get liked or socially accepted, or whatever is not. No.
I can literally give you a prime example of that.
The singing thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
So I'm a musician. I like to sing. I like to sing especially when there's like a band playing with me. And a family member from Woifi asked me to like go with her to this choir thing, like a cappella choir group. And it meets like once a week. And I don't know, she just thought of me, and it was nice. But I don't like personally that setting of singing. I prefer to sing with a band or sing with my ukulele. But a cappella in a choir is not my thing.
I understand that.
And I, like you said, didn't want to feel like she would not like me. And so
Oh
said
boy.
I said yes, and I said I'll come with you the following week. And then come that day, and I'm like panicking because I don't want to go. I was also super high anxiety that day. And so when I literally sat on the couch for an hour contemplating, should I cancel or should I not?
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally sat for an hour thinking about all of the horrible things that would happen if I canceled, which in reality is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
that's
had like crazy anxiety about it.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I read, that people who tend to have anxiety or anxiety disorder are exactly prone to do things like that. And I've been multiple times in the position where, especially in my professional life, I said yes to things where I already knew in exactly that moment where that I don't want to do it. That maybe it's paid shitty, or maybe I already have so much to do and no little time, or no free time to, do anything else. So, yeah. And then you end up doing something that you don't want to do. Granted, I 99% I would say enjoy those things then.
Mm-hmm.
Not 90, let's say 90. Let's say 90%. But for me, I don't know. It's also like in like family or with friends. You don't want to be the person who says no all the time, and especially if they ask you if you can help them with something.
Sure.
But then at the same time, is if it's something that relates to my work, for example, if someone asks me like, hey, I have this celebration coming up, can you come and film that? And it's a family member, and okay, they're not going to pay you a salary that you would usually ask for. What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
And that happened multiple times before. Or just like, okay, I have those videos and pictures of this special day of mine. I kind of want to have like it combined into one thing, and I'm just getting already exhausted talking about it because it's so annoying to me.
But I also think there's like a line where it's better to say no, but then there's the other side of it where it's good to say yes.
Yeah.
Like if you're having a super high anxiety day or just a bad day and you feel like not doing anything,
yeah,
I think that's a good situation to say no to things because it's beneficial to your mental health. But there are other things, like with the choir thing. If I had zero prior experience to that type of musical setting, and so I didn't actually know, hey, I like this or I don't like this, then I would say it's good to say yes and try it because you never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like if it's something you can with 100%, I don't know, you can say with 100% that you're not going to enjoy it or that it's not going to bring you something, then I think it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, that sums it up basically. I think there are a lot of situations in life, and I like the movie Yes Man. I mean, it's a comedy and it's obviously completely exaggerated, but it shows that sometimes where you feel like, oh no, I really don't want to do that, and then you end up doing it, you really enjoy it, or you maybe gain knowledge or are richer in terms of adventures, or you end up meeting someone, stuff like that. And that happens to us, I think, all the time. Everybody has that moments where they dread doing something, and then in the end it ends up being one of the best days of their life, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think the hard thing about saying no is to find the right moments and to I mean, obviously you can't say yes to everything, but
Also saying no for the right reasons.
exactly. And then, I mean,
Not
if
just
you
saying no because you're a lazy fuck who doesn't want to do
obviously,
anything.
but if you really like, I don't know, super tired because you've been working 40, 50 hours a week, you, I don't know, you might end up not having a great time anyways. So that would be a good, I don't know, example for maybe saying no to something. But at the same time, if it's something that maybe lifts you up a little bit, gets you out of the headspace of work, and brings you joy in like your free time, like having people over and having a game night, a board game night, something like that, then that could be dreaded. Obviously, there have been in those moments where I felt like, oh fuck yeah, we have the game night tonight, but I really don't want to drive there, for example. Because I'm already super tired, it's been a long day, or I've just came home, I just stepped into the door and now we have to leave again. But then it ended up being really nice.
I think I'm less of the person to say no to things like that. I think that's more you than me.
Yeah.
Like if you're tired or if you just had a long day or something and we have plans for a game night, like you said, and you're like, I don't really feel like going. I'm more of the person, even when I'm tired, I still want to do those things because I know that once I'm there, it's going to be a really good time.
I think it's also about how the thing is, if you're already dreading something, I think you have a harder time initially to enjoy it.
Yeah.
As if you go into the whole situation where like, okay, I'm really looking forward to it, or I really don't mind doing that right now, or I'm enjoying it even. So I think the initial mindset of doing something already beforehand changes the outcome probably significantly.
Yeah.
Unless someone shoots you or something.
But I think it's important to note that if you are saying no fear,
man, if you say no, fear. What's the word?
For your
fear.
Mental health.
If you say no, fear, your health, mental.
If you say no for mental health reasons, I think it's important to remember that it's okay to say no.
Yes.
And if somebody is mad at you for saying no, because even if you don't give them a reason, because you don't owe anybody a reason.
Yeah.
But if someone's mad at you for canceling something at the last minute just because you need it for yourself, then screw them. Because, I mean...
Yeah, I agree. But I'm also going through high anxiety times right now, and I'm reading a book about, like a scientific book where they explain steps to, like, CBT, basically, cognitive behavioral therapy, where you train your mind to not only accept the thoughts and leave them alone, but at the same time reroute them, reframe them, and also push yourself to be in situations where you might be triggered, or you're already on high anxiety and you still don't want to do that, but but it's good for you in the sense that you afterwards end up having a good time, being maybe distracted from your anxiety or your anxious cycle or whatever, and ultimately helps you getting less anxious. While if you would not do that, you sit at home maybe dreading it, or maybe being super in your head because you're in your safe space, you know, you're avoiding basically a situation where you, like social anxiety, for example, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line. Sure, exposure and being out there and surrounded by triggers is something that should be controlled. Obviously, you can just jump into the sea of sharks. But no, I don't know. It's a fine line again. And yeah. Let's take a quick break.
This episode of Translating Love is brought to you by Masters of Coffee. Because Masters of Coffee is a local Austrian company, this ad will be in German.
Yes. Zu einem ordentlichen Morgenritual gehört nur eines.
Poop?
No, Coffee. Of course. Und diese Episode wird gesponsert von Masters of Coffee. Seit Anfang 2021 gibt es sie bereits und Matthias und Bernd bringen ihr Barista-Know-how mit. Ihr Kaffee wird nicht nur online, sondern bereits in diversen Geschäften vertrieben. Und das Coole ist, man kann sie auch renten. Das heißt, rent a Barista und man kann die Masters mieten. Was auch immer ansteht, guter Kaffee sollte nicht zu kurz kommen. Das heißt, bei Hochzeiten oder bei anderen Veranstaltungen gibt es guten Kaffee direkt von den Brühern. Und das Tolle ist, es gibt auch Workshops, so man kann für zu Hause einfach lernen, einen guten, super ordentlichen Kaffee zubereiten. Super cool. Und ein richtig cooler Service ist Pimp meine Kaffeemaschine. Also man kann wirklich seine Kaffeemaschine individualisieren mit Griffen, mit Schnickschnack, super cool. Also es ist sehr einzigartig. Und wer mehr über die Masters of Coffee erfahren will, geht auf die Homepage www.mastersofcoffee.eu, auf Facebook unter Masters of Coffee Austria oder auf Instagram unter @themastersofcoffee und alle Links findet ihr auch unten in der Description. Das Tolle ist auch, wer in der Linzer Area ist, kann sich auch ein persönliches Bild machen und jederzeit auf einen Café bei den Jungs im Store in der Leonfeldner Straße 328 in der Lederfabrik vorbeischauen.
And we're back. I think, but I mean, the saying no is also, I think, an important part in like relationships. Obviously, because I mean, we talked about it the last, or 4 times ago, like 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, in the episode where we talked about what was
Compromise?
it? Compromise, right? Where you sometimes have to say no to things that, or the other way around, you have to say yes to things that you might not likely want to do, or be comfortable doing sometimes. Because it's out of your comfort, not something that you really don't want to do. Like in terms of they force you to do something, but that is out of your comfort zone, for example.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is not necessarily out of the comfort zone, but more so like for us, for example, we're going to be renovating soon. Yeah. And there are going to be some decisions that have to be made in terms of things that we want, like stylistic things, but also just, whatever might come up. But there probably will be instances that one or both of us wants one thing and the other person says, no, I really don't want that. Yeah. And that can also be kind of uncomfortable because you have to, again, it comes back to compromise. But I don't know, you still have to say no, which can not be easy all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And might lead to arguments or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking more the way, I'm thinking more the way around in terms of things you do maybe together. For example, like if the one person sees, okay, the relationship is working, but it's not progressing, or there are things that are problems, then the one person asks maybe like, hey, can we maybe see like a therapist to talk about those things? And, saying no to that can have a big impact on the relationship, because that can tell the other person that you are not committed enough, for example, or maybe you don't even see that there's a problem I wouldn't say problem, but there's like some underlining things that are going on that can cause a problem in the future. So
but I feel, I mean, that's true and I agree, but I I feel like we should be focusing more on the positive
No,
sides of saying no.
Obviously.
Because no doesn't have to
Sure,
be a
and
negative
obviously there are
thing.
other things where you, and that I think we talked about that in relationship roles, but also what was it in terms of what was it, like equal relationship, that
Like
was it.
gender roles.
Yeah, being equal in the relationship, that was more the topic. Where you know, you don't want to be in a relationship where you get forced into things all the time only because you want to please that person. And that is, I think, a huge thing where you saying no, standing up for your beliefs or for your wants and needs is a massive benefactor, not only for yourself and maybe then for your mental health and physical health, whatever, but also in terms of what you want. I mean, it's if you're in a relationship and you want to, you're in this together, obviously. And if one person's just is basically controlling everything, every aspect of the relationship, you're not really there to do anything. You know, you don't shape it, you don't have decisions, and that obviously is not good.
Yeah, sure.
So saying no in toxic relationships like that is a huge thing. And also, I think that's, I mean, especially in relationships like that, I think that's hard. I don't think it's easy to just say at some point, okay, no, I'm done. I don't want that anymore. Or they are saying like, okay, we are going to get food there today. And saying no to simple things like that, but also to bigger things like that, is a big thing. And I think you need a lot of courage to do that, obviously. Yeah. But also, I think the biggest thing is to believe in yourself, in your wants, to basically stand up for what you want. That is,
well, I mean, to take your own wants and your own desires seriously.
Right.
Because if your partner's not taking them seriously, I think it's really easy to fall into this belief that, okay, they're not, the things that I want, the things that I desire are not important.
Or even putting yourself down where like, okay, sure, let's do that. It doesn't really matter if I don't want to eat there because it's just food. Or for example, bigger things where like, okay, sure, I wanted to have a kid, but he doesn't want to, or the other way around, you know, I really don't want to have a kid, but they want to, so I have to say yes, you know, things like that. Or a holiday, for example, I think that's also a big thing. Like, okay, I kind of wanted to not go to the ocean this year, but they want to go and lay on the beach. Okay, I guess let's do that then.
Yeah.
So, and there are a lot of relationships out there where that just goes away because saying yes to things is much easier most of the time, because then there's no fight, there's no friction, there's no conflict. Even though you know in your heart that saying no would be the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that we talked a lot about that in the equal relationship podcast and in the compromise podcast episode, which are in our catalog, and you should check them out if you haven't yet. Our catalog
sounds so
of
fancy.
Podcast episodes, everybody. I'm Maura Rose, and we don't have a baby. Sorry, a short Schitt's Creek reference.
You, David.
David. Is there something else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Please, everybody, you know what comes now. Subscribe
to this podcast.
Subscribe to the podcast, everybody.
And please like it and give it a rating on Apple Podcasts.
And if you want to talk to us, hit us up on Instagram or email. That's, what is it? translatinglovepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, that's it.
And you can also visit our website,
Our website.
podcast.com. Yeah, website.
Oh, you said website.
Website. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we should be doing ASMR.
We could totally do that with those microphones. We could totally do it. Okay, that's it.
That's it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.